This is Ashley Gatta, and you're listening to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
Squeal, groan, kiss, attract, repel. You do them all with your mouth, so pop in a Trebor mint to bring it fresh alive.
That's the most fantastic story I've ever heard. How can you make up a thing like that? What do you know about it?
I think we have to go all out. I think this situation absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part.
It's Doggie Time. Yeah, there we go. Now we're floating right along.
Hello.
Hello. Paws up, my cats and kittens. You are tuned in to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com, as well as being simulcast on Facebook. And I believe tonight we are also being simulcast on Spencer Douglas Wharton's Facebook page. Is that correct? Am I correct in that assumption?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi out there, Facebook land.
So as soon as we figure out who Spencer Douglas Wharton is, we'll let him know that we're on his page. In the meantime, we're just going to pirate. We are downtown here in the beautiful mecca of Denton, Texas, on Hickory Street, 111 Hickory Street, in the Visitor Center Bureau building. So we're live and unfettered, my cats and kittens. So come on down and wave at us through the window. And if we're paying attention, we'll wave back. Just like that. Hi, guys. They're all walking up and down Hickory Street. We got a couple takers there. There you go. Oh, that must mean we're number one. Okay. So anyway, so we are joined tonight in the studio with brother Spencer Douglas Wharton. The so said. So actually, we didn't go too far when we stole your webpage.
No, you didn't.
And also this guy over here, Riley, and I have no idea what Riley's last name is.
Rogers.
Riley Rogers. Got Riley Rogers, Private Eye.
Alliteration.
Yeah, there you go. We're sitting here looking at this guy, and the camera's up there. So anyway, note to self. Okay, so anyway, Mr. Wharton here and Riley are in a band called the Infamists. They are a local greaser band, and you're going to love these guys if you've not seen them. And I'm using that term lightly.
I don't know.
I like it.
I don't even like us that much,
Okay.
so don't worry about it.
You can have a positive greaser band. We'll talk about that. But also, as well as being a cook in many kitchens, and I think that's what we're going to talk about a little bit here first, is the fact that you have a production, well, I guess a booking agency.
Yeah,
is
booking
that the
agency.
correct technical term for it?
That's what I tell everybody.
That's what you tell everybody. Okay, so it's called War Baby Entertainment.
Yes.
War Baby, WHAR.
BABY.
It was a great name.
War
That's an awesome
Baby.
name. War Baby.
Whore baby.
War Baby.
Like whip.
I mean, you could call me whore baby, but you know, whatever. However you got to pronounce it.
We're going to stay out of the gutter. And so
But,
we'll call it Whore Baby.
Yeah,
Whore
Whore Baby.
Whore Baby.
I like it.
And War Baby, you've been booking bands here in town for a couple of years now, eh?
Just completed year and a half.
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
Year and a half. And you've been booking Andy's
And Abby.
Underground.
And then our band, the Infamists, and I also do a lot of freelance down at the Aardvark in Fort Worth, the Grotto, Lola's, and then in Dallas, I've done Wits End, Curtain Club,
Right.
Profit Bar. I'm all over the place.
Stopping
man.
around. That's good. That's really good. So in the last year and a half, you've kind of branched out a little bit.
It was crazy. It started at Andy's, and then the next thing I knew, Abby needed a few shows booked, and then now I'm regular booker over there. And
that was going to be actually my first question. I was thinking about this today. Is three things. Okay, this is kind of like Bone Doggie's rules, but the hardest thing in the world is to put a band together. The second hardest thing in the world is to keep the bloody thing together. The third hardest thing to do is to book the band. Whatever possessed you to grab this little monkey and run with it, if you can run with a monkey.
Well,
mixed metaphor. You're going to hear a lot of those.
Oh man, so August 2015 rolls around, and well, you know I've been here since 2011.
Right. Were you going to school?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the best excuse everybody has.
Yeah. I'm not a native son of Denton, but I got here as fast as I could.
Right. There you go.
And you know, there was a void going on everywhere in this town. I don't know what happened. Just this little void happened, and I just came in. I was like, I know all these bands. I know all these Dallas bands, these Denton bands, these Fort Worth bands, these touring bands. I've booked bands from Canada.
Really?
Yeah, like I've even booked a couple bands from like France.
Right.
Like, there's just this void that needed to be filled, and I kind of walked into it just not thinking about doing it forever.
Just kind of fell into.
Yeah, and then
people ended up calling you looking for venues.
Then about 3 months into it, I was like, man, I could really do this for maybe not for like a living, but a decent college student, post-college student wage.
Exactly.
And
something to keep you in the
beer
bars.
and Whataburger.
Exactly.
Yes, a lot of beer and Whataburger.
Beer and Whataburger.
God bless beer and Whataburger. I swear to you. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff right there. So. I'm sorry, you pushed one of Doggie's buttons.
And just after that, like Riley and I were sharing that responsibility for a long time in our band.
Right.
He would do all the out of town stuff.
Right.
And I would do all the stuff in Denton.
Well, it sounds amicable.
Yeah.
Split it up.
We split it up, and then we learned that I'm just way better at this than Riley is, and so I just took over. But
is it because you spent all your time in the bar and at Whataburger?
Probably.
I mean, I was there with him.
Oh, okay.
But no, he's an amazing engineer for how little training he actually has, and he's really good at keeping me from being an idiot, and that's his job.
That is kudos to you,
yeah,
son.
That's your job.
As long as I've known this guy,
Ball
he's been one of those guys. Exactly.
Ball and chain.
Somebody's got to keep you in line, and yeah, we all have one of those. So it's brilliant stuff. So you book. You've booked us. You've booked Bone Doggie and the Hickory Street Hellraisers a few times. Levi Cobb and the Big Smoke.
I love those guys.
We do too.
They're great.
They're a favorite.
They are
here.
They're wonderful.
I've known them since they were a little bitty puppy dog, and the Big Smoke. So
I actually had a chance in April to take them on. I manage them now.
Right.
And Jesse and the rest of those guys, like. I'll say this. I know this is about us, but if we had to bring it up for like 10 seconds, that band, every time I see that band, it's a religious experience.
It's amazing. They put on one bloody good show.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and one of the things you love about Jess is he's smart enough to surround himself with some really incredible musicians.
He's great.
And
he's actually a real inspiration for me personally as a musician and as a person. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You listen to that, Thompson?
Yeah.
Wow. There's one.
It's really,
you scare the rest of us.
It's really weird. I came to Denton and like Levi Cobb and the Big Smoke and Mockingbird Station.
Oh, yeah.
Backwater Opera. It was my first show ever.
Those were all my children's.
So, Cody and Jesse are like my big inspirations. Even though it doesn't.
Cody Maxwell's still out running around.
Yeah, he's
somewhere.
out in Dallas now. Yeah, but, it doesn't necessarily translate to our music.
Right.
But those guys work hard.
Seriously.
And I appreciate their work ethic, and it's and I've told Cody, I've gushed to him so many times. He knows. And I think everybody out on Facebook knows too, so we don't have to gush too much. But
public gushing is
those
allowed.
Guys, both those guys are real inspirations to me. So and Riley actually just got a chance to see them for the first time a few weeks ago.
Levi Cobb.
Oh, really?
Never seen him before.
Yeah, we got a chance to play with him at the Aardvark.
You're actually looking at the culmination of about 4 different bands.
Yeah,
up there.
Poppy and
Brandon.
Charlotte.
Brendan or Brandon?
Brandon.
Yeah. And Charlotte and Tim Ross is actually part of the Denton Collective, the music collective.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays with me every now and then, and those guys are just. Who's playing drums for him? Is it Nathan?
Yeah,
Nathan Norman.
Yeah, he's playing drums for him, and he does a great job. And
we are an incestuous bunch, I swear. So yeah, it's like I said, that's a culmination of about 5 different groups up there.
But so back to the booking from that though, like I have been able to take on a few Denton artists like them and the Gypsy Bravado and Kites and Boomerangs and their side project Moniker. And I've been really able to like push them and help them get out of Denton and have some great shows in Denton.
Right.
It's the greatest experience of my life thus far is to not only work with Riley and Ryan in my own band, but to work with these insanely talented musicians who are a lot better than me. Because I'm not. They're a lot better than me, and it's great to even watch them. Just in the last 6 months, even grow.
Yeah.
I didn't think they could get better, and they are.
That is one of the things that is uniquely Denton. Because I guess asked this question a lot, is, what makes Denton so great. I said, dude, you can't throw a softball without hitting a musician. And the thing is, 10 times out of 10, you're going to find somebody that can play. 7 times out of 10, you're just going to find somebody that's amazing. And it's all ages. I mean, it goes from the older guys and like me that's got cobwebs that have been doing this for 1,000 years to I've got guys that come up and play at the open mic. The youngest one is 12.
Wow.
I've got a 13-year-old. I've got a couple 16-year-olds. And it's just this younger group is following right in the footsteps. You're seeing some amazing performances. And I think that's the thing, that if you do have anything easy about booking out of this town,
there's talent.
You
everywhere.
have talent.
I don't have to worry about finding
exactly. it. Exactly. Yeah. You don't have a really barren wasteland to choose from.
I love it. It's the greatest town in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Seriously, and that is a very unique thing about this town. You don't have it in Plano. You don't have it in Irving or anywhere like that. So we're very fortunate there. It also makes the competition a little interesting, which is but it's. By and large, at least from what I know, and I know a lot of musicians, a lot of bands, it's a friendly competition.
Definitely.
Like I say, we're an incestuous bunch. You could see 2 bands playing with each other, and then 2 weeks later, you've got members from both playing with somebody else.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We just all play. When I was a kid, you didn't do that. That was a sin. You were in your band.
And only your band.
That's right. And if you were in somebody else's band, you were a total traitor. After I came here a very short while, I realized, wow, everybody's playing in everybody else's band. I'm going to try that. So I did. And that's how I eventually put my band together, was from stealing people that I went and jammed with.
Got to do what you got to do.
Awesome.
Fair theft.
It was good-hearted theft. So War Baby has been getting a little notoriety here lately.
I hope so. I don't know. I certainly do hope so.
You have a public figure Facebook page.
That's true. I did make it, but I still have one,
Awesome.
which is a lot cooler than a lot of people. No, I really do hope so. I didn't get in it for the glory. I got into it because I wanted to help people.
Right.
And, it's hard not to get wrapped up in the glory a little bit sometimes. I am
you
human.
need that. But it's called marketing.
Yeah. Well.
That's the friendly word for glory.
It's called,
as far as I'm concerned.
It's called endurance. It helps me get through to the next gig sometimes when.
Yeah.
Because we all have them. We have gigs that don't necessarily always do great, but the musicians come up to me and they're just like, we would never have gotten this opportunity. Mm-hmm. And that
makes you feel great.
Yeah, and that keeps me going a lot. And it happens everywhere, thankfully. Mm-hmm. At least that's not a Den exclusive.
Right.
Which is because, man, I'm all over the place these days.
You're spending some time in Dallas and Fort Worth and all that.
Yeah.
But hometown, still, you anchored here.
Yeah.
And which is good. You've got to have a good anchor that just keeps you from going.
That's Riley. I'm telling you, he's the anchor.
You're the Denton guy, then,
right?
Cute.
Yeah. He's the one.
You're an anchor. You're a ball and chain.
Ball and chain anchor.
We're gonna come up with monikers for Riley is what we're gonna come up with.
Fun game.
Game.
Post it on that.
If you have a name for Riley, post it on Facebook.
$5. Best one.
In his own words last night, he looked at me and told me I was his Battle of Gettysburg.
Wow.
Now, see, we're history majors.
Right.
So that was probably the best compliment he's ever going to give me.
I think I messed it up and said Gattle of Bettysburg.
Gattle
of
Gettysburg.
It was a long night. But, Gattle of Bettysburg.
The intent.
There's a burlesque dancer named Bettysburg. And, but we won't go into that right now.
The intent, though, he really has, Ryan also has really, they're the unsung heroes behind War Baby Entertainment because they have to put up with, hearing me talk about, the drama that happens with owners and booking agents and just it's not simple.
Yeah.
Any musician that I know knows that.
Do you have you developed especially since doing it this long, have you developed a sort of a routine for going to a new venue and can you talk about that, or is that something you keep under your hat?
No. I freely share.
How do you approach? Because I can tell you how we used to approach it back in the day.
When I
approach
it, for the band sort of speaks for itself. It's got enough of a following in several places. Like, we actually have a pretty decent following now in Houston,
right,
and Oklahoma City,
right,
and San Antonio, actually, if you can believe that's the weirdest place I've ever seen as far as the music scene.
It has its moments. Yes, it does.
I never thought we would get fans in San Antonio, but we have a very large group of fans.
I've done some road gigs in San Antonio, and some of those are the most fascinating weekends that I've ever had.
So just as far as like booking the band, like that a little bit that talks for itself. Like
right.
Riley really drove it home right there at the beginning when we started how professional we have to be, and like I learned a lot from watching him, because I'd played more gigs and been around scene probably a little bit more than he had because he's from Amarillo, but he got to see bigger acts and he got to hang out with them and like learn the tricks of the trade from these touring bands and things like that. So as far as booking the band, like it's I can't really explain it. It just happens.
Right.
It's not hard for me to.
You go in and approach. Do you take sound files with you, or you just go in and talk to them?
Most of the time, I just say, "Hey, I'm Spencer, and I play in the Infamists," and that's usually enough these days, which is really nice. Because we're on for the last 2 years, we're close to 200 gigs in the 4 years we've been together. Yeah. Probably over that
Maybe
by now.
more than that.
Yeah.
You said a little while ago that you had done
53 last year.
Just 1 year, about 40 to 50 a year.
Yeah,
so.
we play a lot.
We did that a few years ago. Actually, there was a few weeks there where it was like 2 gigs in 1 week.
June 2015, we played 13 in 1 month.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was a fun month.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know about you, but I got cussed at. But we had a good time, and we made some money. So, when it was done, everybody was happy.
Yeah. But as far as like booking a venue, like again, it's a track record sort of thing.
Yes.
I can show people that. Sometimes, especially when like I help manage calendars for people, sometimes it takes a minute to get them up and running. So, but it just my track record speaks for itself. I like to think anyway.
A good name, and thing is, club owners got BS meters, and they've got sharp ones too. They own a nightclub. They've heard it all. They've seen it all. They've done it all.
Yeah.
And the thing that I've noticed over the years that I did it was you just don't blow them a bunch of hockey. Just walk in there and be straight with them. This is what we need. This is what we do. What do you think?
Yeah, and that's pretty much how I approach all my business.
That's the way I think that's the way it should be. All right, well, we're going to take a little break here and collect our thoughts here. We're going to come back with Spencer and Riley and talk a little bit more about War Baby, and then we're going to delve into the magical world of the Infamous.
Awesome.
And whatever else happens to float through the door in the meantime. So we're about ready to take a break. We have producer extraordinaire Ellie Meyer back there pushing the buttons, and we're ready to go. So we'll be back in just a minute. Might be. I don't know. Sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Could be.
It was good, whatever it was.
I know, right? It's Denton Radio.
All right.
Just 24 hours of awesome on the internet and stuff. We are back. Pause up, my cats and kittens. We are back now for the second part of the first hour of Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
I'm loving Doggie Time.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Doggie Time.
It just has
Best
it's
time.
Doggie Time.
It's Doggie Time.
That's right. And speaking of Doggie Time, Denton is the home, and Doggie Time. Doggie Time and Denton is home to one-of-a-kind education at Texas Women's University. Can you dig that?
I can.
I knew that you could.
Go TW.
The largest public university, primarily for women. So I'm in.
Me too.
I'm definitely
I'm
there.
in.
Their sponsor, they're so going to kill me for doing this. But I'm pushing their ads. TWU graduates are leaders in healthcare, business, and education, which is a definite plus. And if you want to learn more, my cats and kittens, about the lovely Texas Women's University, and it is a great place. It really is. You can go to www, if you even type that in anymore. Google twu.edu. Check them out and go get educated. That's what we need to do. So that was our sponsoring for the evening. There,
Oh, hey.
Awesome.
we do that.
Thank you, TW.
This is a professional setup.
I'm into it.
So TWU, thumbs up to you guys. And you are bringing us the second part of the first hour of Doggie Time. We are sitting here with Spencer Wharton. Or Wharton? Wharton.
Yeah.
Wharton.
I don't know,
The
man.
pronunciation changes every time we come back.
It's,
And Riley Rogers, Private Eye, is sitting here with us as well. And we are discussing War Baby Entertainment, which is, I guess, is there anybody else in town booking like you guys?
no.
There was ages ago.
Yeah. The guy that, got me started was Bane with Mildly Distorted.
yeah,
Mildly Distorted Productions.
That
Yeah.
was awesome.
I was working with him for a little bit.
I
and
love
then
Bane. That's one of the funnest human beings. We
Yeah.
have a
Oh,
blast.
he's
Bane
great.
is great.
Yeah.
Bane's a party.
I was working with him for a bit, and then I branched off.
Yeah.
And because Bane only does one show a month, one every 3
Right.
months. If I have a Friday night off,
You're not working.
I'm not into it.
You're-
I don't like it.
You are not working.
I've had one Friday off
Yeah.
this whole year.
Yeah.
And it wasn't by design.
Right.
It just all the places I work, somebody else had a show.
Right.
Because that's the other thing. I love booking with a team,
Mm-hmm.
or having multiple people book too, so it's not all on me.
Yeah. That does take a little bit of the
Yeah.
pressure off. That really does.
So you end up that was the weirdest Friday ever because I
what
wasn't
do you
in
do with
Denton,
yourself?
I wasn't in Dallas, and I was at home with my mom in Fort Worth, and she was like, "What are you doing here, and why are you not at a gig?"
It's Friday.
It's like, "Well, Mom,
Who are
see,
you? What did you do?
You got to
my
get
son?
down on Friday.
Yeah, man. I was just like, Mom, I don't know who I am and what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
When you're in the role.
Yeah.
And you're just, you're in that trance that you go through that's called everyday life when you're a musician, and you're not booked or you're not playing and you're supposed to be. Yeah, that's kind of weird to deal with.
Well, I got to tell you, man, I'm the war baby. I play a part and a character,
In a movie
Yeah, there may as well
called
be.
Life.
If
this
we get
movie called Life.
if I ever get a biopic, I hope Ewan McGregor can reverse age
Reverse
and
it,
play
yeah.
me. So, but yeah, I play this character. It's really funny. I tell people all the time, people on this stream and everywhere you go, people that know me call me the war baby. They don't even call me Spencer anymore. And
That's kind of cool.
I love it though. It's great, and so I play this character.
I'm hoping one day to have a great nickname. So,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
one,
come on.
of these days. One of these
Really?
days.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. So Thursday through Sunday, depending on what the week holds, I play this character.
Yes.
I don't know. Riley loves and hates the character.
The character's hilarious.
As you should.
I think he likes the character more than he likes me, actually. So
Yeah. The war baby can be anything you want him to be.
And more.
I see. Really?
Spencer, Spencer's Spencer.
I'm
Love
just
him, love
Spencer.
him, hate him.
Spencer, just Spencer. Yeah, I have met Spencer.
The war baby is very malleable.
Yes.
You can,
Lovely.
he can do anything, be anything. He's all around us. He consumes us. He binds us together.
I guess both of you guys are tied up with something that I just discovered right before Halloween, and it was awesome, and that was the Texas Musicians Museum.
yes.
Yep.
And I remember you said, "Hey, you want to come and do this?" And yeah, let's do this. And you wanted the Hellraisers to go down there, but we just couldn't do it. We had people out of town, and so I thought, well, let's get the collective together. And I called this group of people together. We had bass player for Molotov Dogs. We had the lovely, excuse me, Brittany Belts was singing. Ghost from Diesel Beats played guitar that night. And and Gary Chase was playing drums, and we went down there, and it was a blast. If you have not seen this place, My Cats and Kittens, it is the Texas Musicians Museum. It's on Irving Boulevard. Am I correct?
222 East Irving Boulevard.
Yeah. And thing is, when you're going down Irving Boulevard, you got to look for it.
Yeah.
Because I missed it, and I spent 10 minutes enjoying the scenery around that area.
If you hit McDonald's, you went too far.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but anyway, I went in there and you gave us the $10 tour or the 10-cent tour.
The 10-minute tour.
10-minute tour, and it was, I'm carrying around a picture of Janis Joplin's dress, but the machine that Alan Lomax had, that's
a cool one.
Favorite.
Yeah.
I touched it. If you don't know, My Cats and Kittens, back in the early 1900s, Alan Lomax went from Washington, D.C. area, basically with the blessing of the Smithsonian, through the South and recorded people that would have never been recorded. He basically discovered Delta blues and what was going on down there, and he basically captured Americana, not only on paper, which is hard to do back in those days, but he did, but also on wax, literally. You had the wax.
And recording.
And wax
Can you really
discs.
Capture Americana even today? I don't know.
It sounds poetic, and we're going with that.
Works for me.
So let's go. So, but anyway, that machine, and you said it still works? Or maybe it probably still
from
works.
what I've been told,
it still works.
It can still function, I believe.
But there's stuff from, of course, Stevie's in there, and Eric Johnson's got some stuff in there, and Blind Lemons, and this
guitar.
This creeped me out.
That guitar is in there.
I got to tell you, if you see the picture, there's only one that I know of Blind Lemon Jefferson, and he's holding this guitar. And you've got that guitar in this little shrine, this little glass shrine, and in that guitar case is those glasses. Are those his glasses?
No. Those are a prop.
Because I was freaking out. I was looking. I said, "Okay, you guys went grave robbing." That's what you did.
No.
But
I mean, if you want to talk about graves, tell them what you guys bring out.
Oh man. Okay. Well, to give you a little backstory for people who don't know, so the museum, my boss TK. And a few of his partners, George Gamarek, his wife, ever since the 90s, he used to be the curator or I guess in the memorabilia department. He did something there for the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, okay. Well,
so that's where he learned the tricks and stuff. And since the 90s, they've been amassing this big collection of Texas memorabilia. And since 2004, the museum's opened. It's had 3 locations, and it just moved to Irving about a year ago. Multi-million-dollar facility.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
It really
Restaurant,
is.
bar, 2 indoor and outdoor stage, and then, of course, the big exhibit room. I'm the assistant curator, bartender, tour guide, pretty much all
janitor.
Anything,
I was just going, the fella that makes the tea.
Anything that needs doing, I'm the deckhand. I give the tours as well, and we've got artifacts and memorabilia in there from all genres, everything from Waylon and Willie to Janis to Pantera to Bob Wills to the Dixie Chicks to of course the Vaughn brothers.
Jessica Simpson.
Buddy Holly.
Is
Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson.
Which is
That's
awesome.
So we don't discriminate. I mean, we're planning on unveiling a Deep Ellum, the early days of Deep Ellum exhibit soon.
Oh, my goodness.
We've done a Texas Pop Fest exhibit. We do all these special exhibits that kind of come in and out. And I got involved whenever the museum was in a transitional stage where in between the last place it was and in Irving, it didn't have a home yet.
Right.
So I started volunteering and going out to events and helping out, and I, was there when the place opened. I was in there till late in the night. We were hanging up stuff, and and I got involved. And when it opened, I became an employee and became the assistant curator and everything, and been doing that for a year. and it's built up a pretty good following. It's been around. It's kind of like a band, you know.
Yeah.
After a year, it's got a huge following. A lot of people didn't know about it. Now here we are talking
Well,
about it.
you guys do some good sized gigs out there, and you have some pretty notable.
We've
folks.
had so Jim Schuler, he plays in Dallas a lot. He's George Thorogood's guitar player.
Right.
When he's not with George, he does his Monkey Beat band.
Right.
We've had
Mark Benno,
who played with the Doors.
With the Doors,
we had an exhibit. We've had Bubble Puppy. Yeah. So
that kills me.
Yeah.
Because Bubble Puppy goes back to when I was about 6.
Yeah, they've
or
been there
7.
twice.
And yes, my Cats and Kittens, I was 6 years old at one time.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was.
I don't believe it.
I can't. I think LBJ was president. I think I'm not sure.
But tell them about the day the music died. This is the coolest thing they've ever had.
Getting back to the day the music died. So, we did a special exhibit. I think we did it for a month, and it was, I believe, last February. And we did a Day the Music Died exhibit, which
Buddy Holly.
The Day the Music Died was the plane crash that killed Buddy Holly and Big Bopper and Richie Valens. So what happened was after the plane crash and they buried all of them, they found Buddy Holly's pistol out in a field, and it had been fired. So there was some speculation that maybe there was gunplay on the aircraft.
Oh.
But they couldn't prove that. They had freshly buried everybody. So then I think in 2007. The Big Bopper's family decided, we're going to move him to a different part of the cemetery.
Right.
So they exhumed his grave, and when they opened it up, there he is, just how they left him. Not
totally just.
Not totally. Yeah, well, he looked pretty good.
Okay.
So, he could have gone to prom. But,
wow.
So no bullet wounds or anything. So they put that rumor down. And
that would have been a juicy conspiracy, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So then when they did that, by law, when you exhume a grave, you have to put the body into a new casket.
Right.
And so the family got the old one back, and they thought, what are we ever going to do with this thing?
Really?
So I think it just stays in storage somewhere. I'm not sure for most of the time, but we brought it out. And
oh my gosh!
Me and TK drove a pickup. I think it was in Hillsboro down there, and we loaded it in the back of the pickup. And it was so funny driving back. People were like looking and
you got this casket.
People thought we were grave robbers.
And you're thinking, if they only knew.
We're pumping gas, and people are looking. So we bring it back and we set it up, and we put a little display around it. And it was, it's called The Day the Music Died. So what a fitting symbol was.
Wow.
Was his original.
The Big Bopper's coffin.
Yeah.
Big Bopper's.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm not sure if you call it a coffin or a casket. My boss will know, but whatever it's called, that's what he was buried in.
It's so cool.
I think if you're buried in it, it's a casket. If you've got wheels on it and you're going down Hickory Street, it's a coffin.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you're racing it.
Yeah. So,
I guess it would be a casket. But we had that in there for a while. So we don't discriminate against genres. We don't discriminate against items.
No,
we've had everything.
That's the thing I noticed in there is you cover everything.
Everybody.
It's just from rock and roll all the way around to country music and things like that. One of my favorites was the little, and it's not very big, but the little lovely Mike Nesmith shrine
That's
that you
cool.
have there in the middle.
He came in.
Cool.
He came in a couple weeks ago himself.
Yeah,
and he helped us set up that exhibit and everything. And I didn't get to meet him, but
for you millennials out there, Mike Nesmith from the Monkees. Google it.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
And shame. I actually watched the very first Monkees episode on television.
Really?
Yeah. You just freaking out. Yeah. Do you have any idea how old I am?
No.
Okay.
And it's incredible, like the musicians that want to get on board and help us out with it and stuff.
Imagine.
Because if my boss tells everybody this, if you look at Texas, we call Texas the center of the musical universe.
It is
because it's had so much amazing stuff come from here, and without Texas, you can argue all day, what started this, but at the end of the day, without Texas, music would be so different than it is now.
Absolutely.
So our goal is to preserve our history. Put it in a place where you can bring your grandkids and your kids to see it, and you can remember it, you can honor it, rather than these items go into a private collector's, his man cave where nobody's ever going to see it again.
Well, you never know, and
so
especially being contacted by some of these people would be awesome. I mean, what has Eric Johnson got in his garage?
Yeah,
just, in a box somewhere. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Mostly, and so
we're working on like Edgar Winter.
Yeah.
Johnny Winter's brother.
Yeah.
Come do some stuff there too, and we're doing stuff all over the place.
Did Johnny Winter just pass away not too long ago?
A couple years ago.
Yeah, just recently.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think in Switzerland.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind
wild
of
place to go.
my thing for a while because we were both history majors.
Right.
So I mean, of course, you get people always saying, "What do you guys? You guys are musicians and you're history majors.
We did the wrong
You are
thing
never
twice."
You know, basically they say you guys will never make a lot of money. But you know,
Not true.
I love my job.
Yep.
I love my band.
Yep.
And then I got involved with it, and then Spencer came on board with War Baby, and he's been booking some shows and helping out, and I'm sure his role will go in a better direction as as time goes on.
Just remember that those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it.
It's very true.
Yes.
Yeah, so listen to a lot of
Listen to your high school
Nelson.
That's
teachers.
right.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, dig up your dad's old record collection and then go out and find a record player somewhere.
Yeah.
Which is, oddly enough, vinyl's coming back.
Awesome.
And I love that.
I wish we could afford it. I would love
Seriously.
to print. I would love to print some vinyls. Can't afford it.
Diesel Beast was looking into doing their new album on vinyl, and Carrick was talking to me about it. He said, "Do you know how much that costs?" You know, I bought. We're going back again. I'm gonna freak.
I don't believe Bone Doggy.
I can
ever
prove
six.
this. I can prove this. I bought my first album for $2.25, and that was the going price.
That's crazy.
For a vinyl album. That was mint condition, and it was Inagata Vita.
That's a good one.
Iron Butterfly. That was my first one out of the gate, man.
What was your first one?
Oh, my first record that I bought with my own money.
Yeah.
Exile on Main Street.
Ooh.
By the Rolling Stones.
Very nice.
That was
Very nice.
My dad and I were fanatics. I took Riley to go see them.
You got to see the Stones. I
Yeah,
never got to see
I've
the
seen
Stones.
them twice.
Wow.
But
nice.
I took him to go see it, and it changed his perspective on how we play and like our band.
It made me
will.
understand if anybody who's seen our live show talks about Spencer's moves.
Right.
And after seeing the Stones, it's like I understand now. At first I thought he was pretty goofy, but now I get it. Keith Richards, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what that
All
is.
those
Exactly.
these ridiculous like long broad arm strokes, and I do a lot of bowing.
Yeah. Everybody talks about the
It's-
moves like Jagger, but it's like Keith Richards needs a song.
No,
too.
he's almost got better moves. He's a pirate.
Yeah.
So
He's got a third arm. He's got
this actually come up in conversation, and I have played bass for 20 years, you know, and I was thinking, why are the bass players so goofy, you know? But the thing is, bass is, no offense,
it's hard.
it is a different instrument.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, you can play guitar, you can play bass. Baloney.
Yeah.
It's a different world. You have to have a different mindset.
He's a better bass player than me, but I don't
Yeah.
think he can play as well as
But
I can.
I just, you know, it is different. It's
That's
exactly
an
what you're
interesting
saying.
comment.
Yeah, it's the truth.
It is a different thing.
But yeah, well, and you play a hell of a guitar, and to me, it's amazing. I play guitar now, but it's 4-string guitar. I do not know what you guys
I
do
know
with
you
6
play
strings.
you play open G, and
It's
that's my
GDAD,
favorite.
yeah.
My favorite guitar tuning.
Gadad.
I have a 5-string Telecaster.
Oh,
that's
nice.
an open G.
Yeah.
He didn't get it. He
Yeah.
gets it now,
Yeah.
but he saw it and he was like, "All right,
I get
there's
it.
some songs to be written now."
I mean, I've always been a Stones fan, but
Right.
seeing them live was wow. You know, these are songs we've all
I
heard
did
since
that.
we were
I did that
kids,
with
you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my first real religious experience as far as rock and roll went. Was I got to sit, and not only did I see Chris Squire, of course, and John Anderson and Steve Howe, Rick Wakeman was up there, and as much as I dearly loved Mr. Squire, actually Rick Wakeman was my favorite Yes guy. I still watch him today, and the things that he comes out with 30 years later. And you latch on to those guys,
Yeah.
How long have you actually known each other?
What,
Four and
or
a half
5?
years.
Is that it?
Going on 5?
Yeah, we're working
Wow.
on 5.
I moved here
See,
in the fall of 2012.
I
him
sincerely, I
immediately.
thought you guys were separated at birth. I seriously
Well,
did.
sometimes people think that.
Yeah.
No,
I-
we've 4.5 years
I
almost.
grew up in Amarillo.
Oh, okay.
He it's really funny. Ryan and I, Ryan's from Dallas and I'm from
Right.
Fort Worth.
Right.
The music scenes though are not that vastly different.
True.
They have their quirky
The
parts
venues are
way
are
different.
a little bit different.
and
Yes.
the
yes.
quirky parts of the scenes are different, but
Yeah.
overall it's hard rock, metal, and country.
Pretty much.
So
Yep.
Ryan and I had a lot of very, very great chemistry right out of the gate because we liked all the same bands.
Right.
I'm sure Ryan and I were at concerts at the door seeing these screamo bands in like 2006, and we just didn't know we were both there.
Right.
But Riley over here, from Amarillo, poor boy sheltered.
Well, I had my own thing. I had a friend named Derek who turned me on to a lot of hardcore and punk and stuff like that. So we even had a bar that I used to work at called EBGB's. Can you guess what it is?
That's awesome.
So, and,
EBGB's.
and at the time, I didn't know what that was symbolic of. And I met my friend Derek. I think I was 17, and he was maybe like 24. So it's like, he probably thought I was just a little kid. This little kid doesn't know anything. But no, he doesn't. He doesn't play an instrument, but he taught me way more about music than I think any teacher ever could, just based on what he liked. And he took me to see Reverend Horton Heat, took me to see the Super Suckers, and he would book. He was kind of like Spencer of Amarillo. He would bring out of town bands, and Amarillo, needed that at the time.
Yeah.
So I had a different upbringing. So when I moved here, I was trying to get him to play punk, and then we kind of
and I was like,
somehow him and Ryan wanted to do that, and I wanted to do punk. Somehow we settled on blues.
Yeah.
Well, it's the purest music.
Something we're all
it really
good at.
is. Blues is, and I mean, even what I do is a form of blues, and it's the roots. It's the rock and roll. It's, the rock and roll roots are the blues. When I went from bass to the magic of the Irish bouzouki, which is
that
weird.
Instrument. I gotta learn how to play that thing.
Well, the odd thing was, though, you go through the traditional Irish and everything, but I ended up in the Mississippi Delta, and I stayed there for a long time. Man.
It's
Robert
hard to
Johnson.
It's hard to get out of there when you get in there.
It really is.
It's ridiculous.
Because and like Eric Clapton said, is when you go back that far in time, the wedge gets smaller as to what you could actually find and listen to. And for the longest time, I looked for Willie Brown, who is mentioned in the song "Crossroads" by Robert Johnson, and he did like a handful maybe of recordings, and some of it is just old terrible recordings, but oh my gosh, I mean, there's guts there. You make him alive today and put a good rhythm section behind him, and there's some rock and roll going on. And this was 1910 1915 around in there. So no matter what you do, if you're up there playing the blues, the audience is going to love it.
I know. I tell everybody
just awesome.
Just play the blues.
Yeah. You can even use blues to make metal.
You can. Well, you do.
It's totally possible.
I think it's is it because of the 145?
Anything.
Man, it's really funny. We play.
You can make heavy metal blues. Trust me.
We play really, really heavy blues.
Right. Yes,
and
you do.
You've seen us.
You
know. A lot of these people who are listening have probably seen us. We've got that one song, Johnny Walker Blues, man.
That's the fan favorite.
That song, for some reason, has just captured the minds and hearts of Denton and everywhere else we take it.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's been at every gig we've done this year. I don't think we've skipped it once.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's just
a fun tune, and it's about whiskey. I mean, what else would you want to think about?
Not scotch.
People.
No scotch. We'll have no scotch. Not at all. We like whiskey.
People come up to us after we're done playing it, and they're just like, "What?" And I'm like, "I know. I know.
You're a little young for that, aren't you?"
It's really funny because people look at us and they're like, "What are you guys doing playing blues? You're from Denton."
And are you old enough to even be drinking?
That's
another one.
Well, maybe him, not me. The beard helps.
It does.
So it's really
underneath
funny.
that rough exterior, though. There's
there's a
childlike innocence.
Yeah. It's really funny because there's just not that many blues bands in Denton.
That we know
that I'm aware of.
Well, they keep there are a good handful. They keep a low profile, and they usually don't play a heck of a lot here in town.
Well, that's probably why, because we're
Fort Worth and
I want to, because we've been looking for our blues brothers here.
Gypsy Bravado.
Gypsy Bravado is our closest.
That's probably the one I think we have the most.
That's the one I think we're gonna take a break here in a minute. But that's one thing I will say here out loud in public. That would be one hell of a gig. Is you guys, us, and Bravado.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I think that would be
awesome.
We should
hook that
We
up.
should probably make that happen. That's going to be my next project.
It would be a ridiculous evening. I'm just saying.
That's going to be my next project.
All right, there you go. All right, my cats and kittens, we are going to take a break. It is the top of the hour, and we will be back at the 8 o'clock hour. Somebody needs to fix our clock. That is not my clock, by the way. That funky clock. Anyway, Jake Laughlin stole my clock. And I got it back, though. Anyway, we're going to take a little break here. We will be back in the next hour, and we are going to talk a little bit of blues. And then if you two would be so kind as to maybe grace us with a little bit of live performance.
We could do
Oh,
a couple.
man.
All right, my cats and kittens. Well, you are listening to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com and maybe on Facebook by now. We don't know. We will be back here shortly, so y'all don't go anywhere. Don't leave the room. Push the button, Max.
To know the depths of your mind intrigues me like no other. The more and more that I find, the depths of mine get scared to feel your strongest feelings, to know the facts you've picked up over 4 long years in prison. Remind me why I stay here. Remind me why I stay here. Remind me why my mind said, hey, it's okay. Oh, have a little faith in me.
stars, across the galaxy. She's a beautiful display of sensuality. There's a runway in the sky, a catwalk on moonbeams, and you know the looks don't lie, 'cause she's the one to see. Eyes are low and green, and her smile is divine. She will melt you when you see the limelight in her eyes. Bodella is her name, galactic on her stage. All it takes is just one glance. You'll forever be her slave.
And you are listening to Doggie Time
on DentonRadio.com.
Can you dig it?
We can dig it.
I knew that you could.
Listen to this. I've been watching you every week, and you're looking peaky, son. It's all that driving around. Can't argue with that, can you? Oh, hang on. When are you going to get yourself a steady job?
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
It's Doggie Time. Yeah, I found a great website that is all public domain recordings.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's for that type of thing, it's excellent. All right. So bring the music down and pause up, my cats and kittens. You are tuned in to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com, as well as the Book of Faith. And we are here in our second hour in the lovely squadron of that which is... That was a wrong show. That was a wrong word.
Infamy.
Infamy.
Just say infamy and it works.
Squadron. Well, I was thinking I wanted to go in a kind of an Air Force motif, and it got shot down. See how I did there? Yeah, that works. That works. My Air Force reference got shot down and is now floating around in the Pacific somewhere.
Squadron of Infamy.
There you Squadron of Infamy. You have entered the Squadron of Infamy.
That's an album title. Oh, man.
And you're probably wondering what we're doing, my cats and kittens. We are doing the Doggie Time show in our lovely facility here in the Visitor Center Bureau in lovely downtown Denton, Texas, 111 Hickory Street to be exact. I know that part. I do know that part.
I didn't even know that part.
I had it memorized. And anyway, we are here and we are broadcasting live with Spencer Wharton and Riley Rogers, Private Eye.
I like that. Private Eye.
Private Eye. There you go.
I've been waiting on a Bone Doggy nickname.
Now you have one.
Now you have one.
I think I got one.
Riley. Well, there's a British show, Riley, Prince of Spies or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to check that out.
No, you can check it. It's kind of cheesy. You'll like it. It's pretty wild. So, we're good? Okay. So, we have producer extraordinaire, Ellie Meyer, out there pushing the buttons.
She's killing it.
She does.
It's great.
She does.
Thank you very much.
Could not survive without this woman. She's the one basically that says, okay, stand over here. Now do your thing. Now stop. And I do. And it works every time. It works every time. You know, and if I'm a good boy, you know, I get Jack in the Box tacos.
Ooh.
It's
the ultimate treat.
That's
pretty sinful. Pretty simple.
I love it.
Do you not agree? This is the worst thing you could put in your body.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
But we all love it.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
It is the perfect after gig food.
How do you live without it?
I know, right? 3 o'clock in the morning, you just played a show, you're a little bit woozy, and you pass a Jack in the Box. You don't pass, you pull right in.
Oh yeah, you get some tacos.
And
man.
you get tacos.
But you always get like 4.
Yeah.
You can't even get 2.
No. And they're horrible. The things are terrible. I've heard people die from them, and I'm working on that. I want to prove that theory wrong. So I'm doing my best. And you guys, if I'm not mistaken, if memory serves, and I still have some of that left, and yes, I was 6 years old at one time. The band, the Infamists, local band here in Denton, have been traipsing these roads for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Four long years as the Infamists. And if you have not heard these guys, my cats and kittens, they are a treat. Kind of a bluesy affair. Am I correct in that assumption?
Sir.
I hope so. That's what I'm going for.
Trying
to be, man.
We're trying to be the blues. I don't think, in 40 years of doing this, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say we're trying to do the blues.
We're trying to do the blues. You know, it's really funny.
Do it justice.
This one we're about to play here in a second is country.
Oh, I love that. Well, country blues.
Ish.
You could throw blues in front of anything.
Yeah,
you know.
that's true.
Jack in the Box Taco Blues, as far as I'm concerned.
Song title.
There you go.
Jack in the Box Blues.
It's the Jack in the Box Blues going through the drive-thru.
2 for $1.
Son House said something about you can make anything into the blues, but the real blues is a man and a woman's. Quote unquote, a man and a woman's.
Oh man, no, that's
so.
Doggie's killing me over here.
So you guys have had a few incantations of the Infamous. You progress over 4 years.
Well, really, it's just been 2. We've had the same drummer for 3 years.
See,
actually.
that's a blessing.
Yeah, Ryan is the.
And this is Ryan.
Yeah, Weiss.
Who? Ryan Weiss.
Ryan's
okay.
the glue that keeps this thing together.
Drummers usually are
He's
for some weird reason.
He's the only guy in the world that could ever deal with me and him on a weekly basis. Only guy that could ever do it.
Right.
Individually.
And not go crazy.
Individually, it's doable, but
if there were another one of me or him in the band, it would just burn.
Oh.
Well, I've been trapped in a room with you for about an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, it's been a blast. Yeah.
give it 4 years. You know?
It gets old after a while, I'm sure, for him.
I was going to say, well, I've been real fortunate. I've been, my current drummer now, we have been playing for about 20 years.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and family as well. And so, yeah, it's you get one of those guys, you latch onto him with hoops of steel.
No, he's not going anywhere. I won't let him.
Yeah, that's good.
We made him
I'm sure he's told me the same thing at one point. These guys won't let me go anywhere.
It's true. I'm not going to.
We made him sign.
He's a really good drummer. And the last time I saw you guys, I really had a good time. You were up at Andy's. It was a really good show. You're very entertaining. Which, you know, and that's one of the things I love about you guys is that you do put on a show. You know,
we love playing.
What else are we supposed to do?
We love playing.
You know?
Well, you know, you'd be surprised, and we have a lot of peers that are really excellent, but they get up there, and for ones, whether they're concentrating or whether they're bored or for whatever, you know, I'm paying money. I'm sitting out there. I want to see performance.
Well, yeah, definitely.
And that's just me. You know, a lot of people don't care. You know, a lot of people there, they close their eyes. They don't care what they're looking at. But in that setting, you guys are perfect for it because you have a really nice club type persona.
Yeah, our goal is to make sure that you walk out satisfied for that $5 first of all,
right,
and then you know, a lot of people will say it and attest to it, and I agree. Like, even just watching videos of ourselves, I know it's narcissistic to say it, but man, you can't forget us. When you watch us, you really can't.
That's really not narcissistic. Is that
it feels like it anyway. But
well, if you say it, but I will say it. You are memorable. You are memorable, and
it's all him.
Like, wow.
Whatever.
No, it's all you.
That was just one of the things we stressed.
I do want to know where you guys got the giraffe, though. That was just as incredible as
the giraffe.
Yeah, never mind. The giraffe. You don't remember, do you?
The giraffe.
Okay.
Oh, I think it was the bear costume.
The bear costume.
Oh, the bear. Yeah, that was our friend Madeline and Peter. They had a bear outfit.
I brought about 20 bananas to a show and passed them out to the crowd to throw at Riley.
Oh yeah.
So we've got enough antics to last us a lifetime.
It's kind of like we've that kind of stuff doesn't happen every show, but whenever we play a show, you know, the things we've always stressed since we've started, kind of our creed was like, we're going to be a good live band.
Right.
Where we're going to network with everybody, be nice to everybody no matter what genre they play, make friends, make connections, and, you know, just have a good time doing it. So whenever we're playing a show and, you know, people don't look like they're entertained, you know, it's almost like I turn into Russell Crowe and go, are you know, not entertained? And then we just got to take it to the next level, and that might include people throwing stuff at us. That might include me jumping on stage. That might include Spencer going out and dancing with the crowd.
You know, I've seen Riley play guitar with his teeth, I think, more than you know, I've actually seen him play.
You did that last time, I think. I saw you.
I actually think
you know what's funny is I'm playing 2 notes and I'm just hammering on.
I really do think that
people, but it looks impressive.
Yeah, people like it, you know.
I really do think he lives with that guitar in his mouth more than his hands these days.
Imagine when I was a teenager doing that with braces.
And then the feedback.
So you know, if people aren't already enjoying it, then we try to at least make it to where, like, okay, if you don't like us, that's perfectly fine. But we're gonna at least make sure you remember us.
Yes.
Good or bad. So we're gonna give you something to remember us by.
Well, the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about.
Yeah.
You know,
good or bad. You know.
So, but you guys, like I say, you put on a very good show. You have been through several incantations, and you finally genre-wise, You did some punk for a while.
Yeah. That, like I said, that's what I was into. You know, I was real into like Motorhead and just, you know, Sex Pistols, Ramones, all that stuff. I was very late bloomer on punk. We tried it. I had a solo project for a while, and I did, kind of like Lenny Kravitz. I did every instrument. And you can definitely tell. I don't ever promote that stuff. Don't go look it up because you can tell I'm not a drummer. Like,
no, you really can't.
Somebody find it.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
It's on
the drums.
It's on Bandcamp. It's under my name. Trust me, you'll be able to tell.
He's not a drummer.
And yeah, our first drummer we had was kind of on the same page, and Spencer was kind of odd man out on that one. But then we brought in Ryan, and Ryan just loves everything, and we had so much.
Yes,
in common with him.
he does. You could tell he's just a world drummer.
Yeah, he really is.
Ryan, he's a musician and I think this makes the best musicians is, you never get so good where you stop learning from other people.
Oh, God, no.
Ryan will watch other drummers and be like, I need to learn to do that. And even if they're, they just do something different that he didn't think of. And, we're all kind of that way. We're very observant, I guess. So, then we tried to, I had a phase again where I was getting really into, the newer kind of doomy heavy metal, kind of like what Diesel Beast does.
We all go through that,
and we went through that. Yes. Spencer didn't really like that so much, but I got real into Truck Fighters, The Sword, Fu Manchu. Bands
I like all
that.
those bands.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
don't want to play it.
I was like,
different,
this is not our thing.
Yeah.
So then we kind of centered back on let's do what we originally wanted to do, which was just hard rock blues.
Yeah.
And now we've kind of been doing this really cool thing where we try to do the blues because my vocal style actually fits
the blues. Yes, it does.
When we were doing the heavy stuff, we were just like, man, the vocals kill it for us. And it's not that I was singing badly. It was just that's not my style.
You don't scream like that. The lead singer from I Am Man, I Am Monster, Travis, spent 45 minutes one night trying to teach me how to do the growl.
The guttural.
Yeah, and I already growl. But he kept telling me I was doing it wrong, and I said, "Dude, I sound just like you do." No, you don't.
No,
and after a while, my diaphragm said, "Travis, go do something else. Leave this child alone." And we parted ways that particular evening, and I never apparently did get to that.
No, Travis,
he's good at it.
Travis, Megan, and Rusty,
they're pros.
Those guys are good at it.
And she too.
Megan's
her cleans.
She won an award, didn't she?
Oh yeah, she did.
Something
and
like best female
singer.
Something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Metal singer, something like that.
Wow.
That bass playing too.
Yeah. She's amazing.
I'll never be
player.
that good. I will try my whole life and I'll never be that good.
None of us will be as good as Megan. That's I have that tattooed on the back of my hand.
I believe it.
But anyway, the thing is, when you find that vocal style and you eventually find your space, I think that's how I ended up doing what I'm doing now. And then God bless Tom Waits. He says, "Oh yeah, you could do anything and use the same voice." So it just come natural. Well, I had never sang. I spent 25 years playing music live and never sang, ever. And then suddenly I found myself the lead singer for a solo act, so I'm there by myself, and I was petrified.
Yep. I remember the first time I did it. It was crazy.
Scary.
I started doing it just because somebody had to,
Yeah.
Well, we weren't going to get bigger than 3.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something I want to talk about after the break here. We're going to take a real quick break here, just a few seconds, and then we're going to come back. And I want to talk to you about And Then There Were 3.
Yep. And that's all it's ever been. That's all it's ever going to be.
Yep. Awesome. All right, my cats and kittens, we're going to take a brief break, and then we will be back with Spencer and Riley from the Infamists. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back at you.
Watch them run, never did they see the sun. On the day I was dragged in, saw the razors tangled like vines. Warden told me not to run, many men fell by his gun. I spent 12 long years on this farm, chasing irons and playing cards. Yeah, I'm so tired of playing cards. Ain't much left for us to do, and dreaming or running ain't no use.
tell my side, I'm just glad to be alive. Oh, my brother knows not what he did, oh Lord, he's a stranger to the lion's den. I guess we kind of split the blame, we share the face and the same last name. I spent 12 long years on this farm, changing irons and playing cards. Yeah, I'm so tired of playing cards.
That's pretty awesome. That was cool. It's hard to be depressed when there's a banjo around.
You know, I agree.
You know, it's just, you know, oh, doom and destruction, blood and gore, but you got a banjo going and you're just happy as a clam. So, all right, guys. So we are back, my cats and kittens, and we're going to finish out the night here with the Infamists. Thank you so much for doing this, by the way,
thank
guys.
you for having us.
It's been awesome. It's been fun. And we ain't done yet.
We ain't done yet.
Going to get you guys, we're going to con you guys into playing here in a few minutes. But you struck on something that I actually had thought about during the day. Your three-piece.
Yeah.
3 has always been to me a magic number, as well as being, you could also count bass, drum, and guitar with a lead singer.
Yeah, but
you know, but it's not the same as 3. You know, the original Grand Funk Railroad, Rush, you know, ZZ Top, who's still a 3-pot. I don't think I've ever seen a fourth musician with ZZ Top.
I don't think so.
They have a studio band.
Yeah,
but they don't bring them out live.
Right. Yeah. No, because that's the show. That's what you do. You know. So I always loved 3-piece. I got to play in a few 3-pieces, and I tell you what, if you're a drummer or a bass player or a guitar player, and you are playing in a 3-piece, it sharpens your sword. Am I not right? Because you're there, you got the guitar, you got the bass.
You mess up, everybody.
I had to learn how to play.
Right.
In a 3-piece.
Yes.
I had never done it before.
Total world. It's a total different
always
world.
had 2 guitar players.
Yeah.
And, you know, as the bass player, by myself,
yeah,
man, any kind of open notes, man, I got to nail that tone.
Yeah. You do.
I have learned how to hit the strings a certain way just to make sure that space is filled.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother ballgame.
It is. And some people are brilliant at it. I actually give a little leeway to the bands that were 3 and a singer is how I could, because it was the Who,
Zeppelin.
You know, and Zeppelin, Sabbath, and it was the same way. The bass players and the guitar players in those bands. I mean, look at who we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, then you got somebody with a brilliant voice on top of it. So 3 is a magic number, and it is a blessing number. And you're looking at a guy who had a band that had 9 people in it at one time. And the entire time I thought, God, I love this. We are just a huge sound. It's incredible. Why can't I be a 3-piece?
How do you get that many people together to practice?
It's like
let alone
pulling
play?
teeth. It's like pulling teeth. We were hungry. We were hungry and we were nuts. And this is back when we were doing the 50 gigs a year thing. You know, as I've gotten older, I've gotten wiser. And I've got it down to 5, and I'm really happy with 5. And I still don't have a lead guitar player. I play guitar, but I got a saxophone.
I tell
I got a saxophone.
I tell him
and a trombone.
You know, I tell him all the time that like my ideal band, if we weren't doing what we were doing, would be 5.
5 is a good number.
I would
it's not a bad number.
I would do the 4-piece with a singer.
Yeah.
That Stones configuration.
That's
the dream.
A good,
for me.
solid rock and roll. You know?
But you know. Riley's a good enough guitar player. He can, he covers for like 12 people by himself. So.
Yeah, you do all right. You really do.
He doesn't like it when I brag on him, but I got to brag on you for
actually,
that, man.
I've got to say that you guys are good players. You really are, and
thank you.
You know, that's why you're still above ground. So, as a matter of fact, we're going to throw you to the wolves now.
All right.
In a totally different venue, playing acoustic guitars. This is totally outy. I love this.
Is it too late to bring in my Marshall stack?
Like, can we go get the?
Can I get a Les Paul and a stack?
Yes, it's too late. Wasn't going to happen anyway.
Man, we haven't done this in
so
2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, so we have an exclusive here on Doggie Time on dentradio.com, and we're going to throw Mr. Wharton and Mr. Rogers to the wolves, and you're going to play a couple Infamous tunes?
Yeah, we're actually going to do a couple from our
first
album back
Cool.
when we were in college.
Our ballad and our country-ish songs.
Sounds perfect.
Those work. This one's called The Devil in Times Square.
All right. Well, my cats and kittens, you are going to hear it. So without further ado, give it up for the Infamists.
1, 2, 3, 4. Girl, you got diamonds in your head. You're a silver-tongued devil in bed. But baby, you got a heart of gold. A red-headed woman stepped off the train, went on down to the great wide way. Lights went out, the building shook. She wrote to my name in a little black book. I said, girl, you got diamonds in your head. You're a silver-tongued devil in bed. But baby, you got a heart of gold. Of gold. Of gold. Of gold. Blood for blood, wine for wine. There's a way to pass the time when the race is dull. It's all gone. We go down like the setting sun. I said, girl, you got diamonds in your head. You're silver-tongued devil in bed. But baby, you got a heart of gold. Of gold. Of gold. Of gold. Pass the time when the race is dull. It's all gone. We go down like the setting sun. I said, girl, you got diamonds in your head. You're silver-tongued devil in bed. I said, girl, you got diamonds in your head. You're silver-tongued devil in bed. But baby, you got a heart of gold. Of gold. Of gold. Of gold.
Wow. That felt weird.
That was
Oh.
was a trip.
That didn't suck. All right, well, I guess we got one more.
Want to do another one? All right.
Yeah, this one, for those of you who are listening and out there on Facebook land, Ellie, who is just killing it out there as she's laughing and waving at us and making me feel good about myself. This is the first song we ever wrote collectively between the two of us. This is a super special song to me. We never play it live.
We have lately.
Well, that's true. We brought it back,
times lately.
thankfully. But we, first album, first ballad. We're not a ballady band.
Ballad,
quote unquote. We're not a slow song band. So
Jupiter Swing. All right, ready?
Yeah.
like whiskey and rye. And this telescope can see thousands of miles, but it can't see your mechanical smile. I guess it's just been a while. And the meteors fall from outer space. My love's lost in Saturn's rings. The meteors fall from outer space. And now we've danced the Jupiter swing. Orion's hunted all week long, but the lion, she's been long gone. The goddess just wants you to sing her a song. And the wolves are howling at the moon. Maybe I spoke too soon. Haley's comet will be our doom. And the meteors fall from outer space. My love's lost in Saturn's rings. The meteors fall from outer space. And now we've danced the Jupiter swing. Yeah. That's so pretty.
All right.
I love that.
Old one.
That is a really old one. Whew. And Bone Doggy comes back.
Here he comes.
You're going to tell us how bad
He's
it
gonna
was.
scorn us. Speak, wise wizard.
Man, that's so weird to play that acoustic.
You're an excellent bass player, dude.
Yeah, I'm not a guitar player. You know, the only thing I gotta say,
okay.
The only thing about that first album that I really contributed on guitar was the acoustic guitar to that song and this.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's like the angels are singing at me right now. They're saying, I ripped off Beethoven.
Yep, pretty much. I have no issue with that because it's probably true. But
no, that was really cool. I've never seen you guys do anything acoustic.
Oh, it's weird, man.
In our entire lives together. And
I love it, though.
Speaking of, and I was trying to think about this today, when did we meet?
I met you at
story.
Banter. Like 2011.
Wow.
2011.
Oh, holy cow.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. That's where we met, was at Banter then.
Yeah.
Those are great days.
You actually got me in contact with a lot of people, like got me my first gigs at Haley's and stuff. Like,
oh, yeah, good.
You're,
It paid off then.
like, not to be too mushy, it is your show, but like you got me my start in Denton.
Good.
Bone Doggie does that to a lot of people in this town. So
That's what we do.
From the bottom of both of our hearts, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
That's where we met,
Thank
too.
you.
Was he took me to your open mic night when I moved here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the first one.
Those were because we had you guys were there. Cody was hanging around. Cody Maxwell and his bunch was there. Jesse would show up every now and then. Backwater Opera started at that open mic and banter. Those guys are all in Berkeley now. Did you know that? Up
Really?
North, up in Boston.
Huh.
Yeah. Marissa was down here the first of last year. And, God, they're living rough. I mean, but they're going to Berkeley.
Yeah, I'd do it. I'd live rough for that.
They're both taking performance art and things like that. and Big Dog is up there with. They're all bass players. Did you know that?
Really? That
Every bloody
actually.
one of them was a bass player, with the exception of Carlos.
Oh,
who
that
played
doesn't
violin.
surprise me.
Yeah, but
No, I got my first band in Denton before this one. 2 bands before this one started.
Right.
At an open mic night at Banter.
That's the brilliance of open mic.
Well, I know, but I'm telling you, like you were the creator and the curator of the very early parts of my career.
Oh, well, that's nice. I'm glad it worked out.
No, I mean.
You owe
thank
him a
you.
shot now.
I do. I owe you. Now I owe you a shot.
Yeah, you do owe me a shot. That'd be awesome. That'd be very cool. And we'll go to Aardvarks in February.
Oh, man,
so
we're
work.
a party.
Speaking of, where's Infamous playing at next? What are you guys doing? You guys are doing a lot.
We have a secret house show on Sunday. If you know us personally, you'll know what we're talking
And
about.
if
We're not going to talk about that right now.
And if
though.
you're not, you don't know what we're talking about, message me or Riley after
Yeah,
this,
and
and
we'll
we'll
tell
tell
you.
you what's going on.
Okay, it's a secret show, but if you want to know where it's
We'll
at,
tell
just
you where it
contact
is.
them.
But no, so our next venue show is December 2nd
Right.
at the Grotto in Fort Worth.
Nice.
We are playing with this awesome band that I need to turn you on to. They're called Picnic Lightning.
Ooh.
Yeah, they play like horror Americana, Southern Gothic country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
It's up Bone Doggie's alley.
That
and then
seriously.
we're playing with Kites and Boomerangs from right here
Those
in
guys
Denton.
are fun.
I love those guys.
They are. That's a good band.
So excited to be playing with them again.
Yeah.
And then this band from Austin called The Schisms.
The Schisms.
Yeah, we're bringing them up. They're playing at Andy's on December 3rd.
Lovely.
You need to see this band. If you haven't seen this band, everybody out there, I will plug that. They are a 3-piece.
Excellent.
And they play, what do you, it's blues.
Edward
but
Scissorhands blues
yeah.
rock.
Just good old rock and roll.
Yeah.
Let's just do that. It's good
Yeah,
old rock
good
and roll.
enough for me.
Sounds
Good
like
old rock
Tim
and roll
Burton's
band.
favorite rock and roll band.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another one straight up my alley.
Yeah.
That's the third, right?
That's how I'd call it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you need to see
Remind me of that one.
Yeah,
I
you
want to
will.
see that.
I will.
Second, we're at we're at Texas Museum.
Yeah, but they're here in Denton on December 3rd.
They're here on the 3rd. That's good.
Go see it.
Yeah, very cool. You guys are also played regularly on a radio station. What is it?
97.1 The Eagle.
The Eagle.
The
is
loud
playing-
and
is playing
local program.
And you told, I probably shouldn't let this out, but you told me that this was a song that you guys really just don't like, but it's your radio
They like
song.
it. That's
so
what counts.
They like it.
does.
They've played 3 songs,
Right.
so it's been a.
This is the third one they're doing, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's so we've had a small mixture. They played 2 off our first album, and
Right.
then the song that we don't like that they play all the time is what is actually considered the single on the second album.
You remember we went
Very
back
cool.
to the talking about we were trying the whole heavy thing
Right.
for a while.
It's our only drop. It's our drop B
That's
song.
the one. That's the one they picked. So it's not a bad song by any means. It's we did it well, but it's just if you ever come to a live show, it's 99% chance it's not.
Last time we played that song was December of last year.
Have you thought about rewriting it?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the. We write like 2 a month.
Yeah.
Usually. So it's kind of like if we end up, we don't love everything we've done. So
Well,
it's like,
yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you do that never sees the light of day.
It's also
you
really
know.
interesting to go to our individual preferences on what songs we all like to play because there's some
Right.
I can't get him to play for the life of me, and there's some stuff that I will not play.
Right.
So it's even funnier when it's like he won't play stuff he wrote, which is even funnier. I love that. That's always a good time.
Not everything the master does is a masterpiece, eh, Rogers?
Master of Puppets.
Yeah, Master of Puppets. Well, it's I've got tunes that we did forever and ever and ever, and I try to have a rotation, and that's not easy when you're playing mostly original. You guys play mostly original material.
No, we play all.
We have done 2 covers
Ever.
We do 2
Ever.
covers. We do 2
and we
covers.
don't even do them anymore. We used to do Rock and Roll Queen, by the subways, and
Yeah.
we used to do Going Down, but we did our own version. I think it was
You
Freddie
mean
King.
the Going Down?
We
Going
did,
down,
we did it a whole
down,
different way.
down,
Yeah.
down. Yeah. Oh my God.
We used to.
And that was back whenever we first got together, and we had never written together before, so we were like, we need to just get a set list going to play gigs. So we threw that in there. We played a few songs I had written, and then I think it took however long, and then Jupiter Swing, we wrote that together.
I can't hear that song. I can't even hear it mentioned without thinking. There was me and some buddies. I was an Oak Cliffer at the time, and we did the Oak Cliff reunion every year, which is every major musician in Dallas showed up at this gig. And the third one that we were doing, Stevie showed up. Stevie Ray showed up.
Yep.
And they put that poor man on stage they put him on with a bass player and a drummer for one song. And then everybody wanted to jam with Stevie. And the next thing you knew, there were 15 people on that damn stage. And the thing is, they were playing Going Down.
It's the easiest one to do.
And you know that old film that they show on TV every now and then where the two trains just kind of smack straight into each other?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it sounded like. It was awful.
Oh, I don't know.
He actually finally just quit playing.
He was just like, no, I'm good.
I'm up here with Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I'm going, no, you ain't, dude. I was sitting in the audience. I'm not even going to try to get up there. There were 2 bass players. There were 15 guitar players. I think there were 2 drummers at the time. And I thought, this is a beating to this guy, And he had the niceties to show up and say hello. So, but you also, back to the real world, you're on a movie soundtrack.
Riley.
I forgot to talk about
Riley,
that.
go right ahead, brother. That's all you.
Okay, so you remember how earlier I said, one of our parts of our band creed is be nice to everybody, make friends, keep in contact.
I do remember that.
So I've known this band for a few years. They're called Machine out of Portland, Oregon, and Spencer booked them on their last tour.
Actually, I think it was the show you came to that was the piano drum duo.
Yeah, you remember them?
Oh, yes.
So
oh, my God, they were wonderful.
Yeah, so the drummer, his aunt, does all the music choreography and everything, picks the songs, what goes where in the movies for Quentin Tarantino.
Wow.
And she was working on another
nice
movie.
gig.
Yeah, she was working on another movie with Taylor Lautner.
Right.
And
Twilight, for those of you who don't know who that
Jacob
is.
of Twilight,
I haven't got a clue. I haven't seen that.
Anyway, he's a pretty boy.
You're not missing anything.
So it was kind of a low-budget film, and Peter said to us, "Hey guys, maybe a few weeks after we play with them, my aunt is looking for kind of a garagey rock band to put in this movie. They need 3 songs. Could you do it?" And we said, "Oh yeah, sure."
We got this.
We're raising our hands, going, "Yes, please."
We reached out to her, sent her our songs, hoping she'd like them enough. She loved them. They're going to use all 3. It's called Run the Tide. It comes out December 2nd. It'll be on Netflix, and it will be, I don't know if it's going to be in anything around here, but it will be in a few theaters. And we had to sign up for ASCAP yesterday because, we never thought we'd use ASCAP. But she was like, if you guys want royalties from this, because it'll be on Netflix.
Do it.
I want my 15 cents, man.
Yeah, so
seriously,
I want it.
So we had to register for ASCAP, and that we announced that today. And originally she said, I'll give you $100 for the 3 songs. We said, okay, we'll see what happens, and then plus royalties. So we had to sign up for the ASCAP. But it'll be out on Netflix. Yeah, Run the Tide. Taylor Lautner. I think it's also got I think her name's Constance
Zimmer.
She's on the West Wing, House of
Cards.
Cards.
She's been on Boston Legal.
Yeah, Boston Legal.
Yeah, she's been all over
it
the
might have
place.
been Boston Legal.
She's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So
she's cute.
So that's cool.
So it's a real live, honest to goodness movie.
Yeah. So it'll the scenes we're in. So I don't know the plot exactly, but they go into this.
They haven't briefed us. They haven't briefed us on the plot.
They go into a mechanic shop, and he's working on cars and stuff, and he's jamming out to the radio. And on the radio,
that is the hippest thing.
3 songs, and then when you roll the credits, if you stick around through the credits, it'll say these songs by the Infamists. It'll have our name, and that's cool. I'll probably pause it and just look at it for a minute. and we were talking about how the whole Netflix and chill. Well, now we can ultimately Netflix and chill.
Yeah, we have
because
the ultimate.
Because it's like, hey babe, want to come watch a movie
that I was in?
That I was in.
So that's
loosely speaking, that I was in.
So that's a cool recent thing that happened.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. Well done. I'm so proud of you guys.
I never thought I would post a picture of Taylor Lautner on my Instagram
or the band page.
But today I was like, you know what? Think about it. He's probably heard our music
it's
now.
It's part of our band's history. industry.
Yeah.
There you
now.
go.
So,
There you
love
go.
it.
I
So
love
it
that.
was a cool experience to be brought into the how LA works and how the music and movie industry work together and how ASCAP works, because we play shows and we don't get too into that, but this was our first experience doing anything
Well,
like
the thing is that it's always good to broaden your horizons, and
Yeah.
you never know. Seriously,
that. Thank you, Peter, by the way.
Yeah, Peter
Never.
and Madeline.
Peter
thank
and
you.
Madeline, thank you.
they are awesome. One of the things I loved about them was Peter's a great drummer. He's really good.
Very avant-garde.
But this young lady, whoa,
Lights.
Lord,
Let there be light.
let there be no lights, and then they come back on again. Anyway, this little girl is up there beating the snot out of this giant, ancient electric
I know, she
piano.
kills,
Did you
man.
watch him carrying that thing off stage? It
Yes.
looked like it weighed about 12,000
Yeah.
pounds.
That thing is
Yeah,
heavy.
And it was-
she's a beast. Yeah,
She was, and it was very very cabaret,
Yeah.
dark cabaret type sound, and I just love that.
We
It
wrote a
was awesome.
song about her
Did you
when
really?
I met her, and that's one of the songs they're using.
Oh, very
and
cool.
consequently, she wrote a song about me.
I love
So
that.
it's called Little Mr. Texas because
He was Little Mr.
in
Texas.
1991 I won the state baby pageant.
Are you kidding
I have
me?
a trophy this tall that says Little Mr. Texas.
Meanwhile, you're this tall.
Well, I was, and guess what?
That's his claim to fame.
I got beat out. I got beat out in the next competition by Oklahoma because it was a costume contest. And this is, maybe fundamentally one of the reasons I started playing guitar, because I was Dennis the Menace and I got beat by a little Garth Brooks with a little guitar.
Oh my God!
And ever since that
then.
day, I've
That's
thought
his-
I am going to be the best.
Consequently, he hates Garth Brooks.
Yeah,
so
there you go. Well,
It's something inside of me.
my start a million years ago was they had a school pageant. I was in the 3rd grade, and they actually did air guitar. And I saw that, and I just went, I want to do that. So I go home and I cut up a box, and I made an air guitar, and we put a little air guitar band together. This is before air guitar became a thing.
Nice.
So it was 1,000 years ago, and anyway, my neighbor across the street, Linda Moore, just looked at me and said, "Why don't you just learn to play a real guitar?"
No.
And it never dawned on me to do that. Yeah, and I didn't end up with a guitar. I ended up with a bass, and then I got some drums and the whole series. But that's the thing is, you see something like that at an early age.
The routes you take.
Yes, and the doors that open, so
Yeah.
you never know where they're going to walk.
Well, this past October we got the chance to play the inaugural End Hip End It Psych Rock Fest.
Explain what that is.
End, hip, end, it, but say it fast. Independent.
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 Okay.
Yeah, it's a
okay.
play on
Independent.
words.
Independent.
So we got to
Psych
share
rock.
this bill with like Ghostland Observatory and Radio Moscow.
Black Tusk.
Awesome.
And just all these amazing
Amplified
bands.
Heat,
The-
Woe Fat,
The
The
Well,
Well,
like-
Mondo Drag.
And then our boys, I'm wearing their T-shirt,
Vanilla
Vanilla Whale.
Vanilla Whale.
Shout out to those guys.
Thank you, Dar.
They, you talk about like the band creed and like the connections you make and people telling you where to go and things like that, man. We showed up.
That's been one of the best friends.
We
for
showed
us
up
we've
to the
ever
Double
met.
Wide to play a gig. We were the local band on a bill.
Nobody really there.
It was a
Yeah.
bill with a Houston band, Austin band, and
Right.
us.
And you.
From
Wow.
Denton at the Double Wide, and Dar's an inspiration to me because he gets to take care of all these local bands, but he gets to do it on this much more massive scale
Right.
than I do. And I hope one day to get to that
A
level.
little bit of a mentor like
Yeah,
that. Oh, that's
but
awesome.
he's-
That is awesome.
This band is amazing. I've had them up to Denton a few times. People
Right.
remember who they are every time they come. They have a crowd and it's funny the roads you take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
The
awesome.
things we've done.
And that could have been just another show in Dallas. We didn't have to go up and talk to each other and make friends with them. Like I said, it's all about who you know. And lo and behold, cool things like getting in a movie, playing a cool festival. It's all just because you originally go up and say, "Hey, man, good show." That's all. That's how it all starts.
Exactly.
That's how it all starts.
There's a couple because the thing is, and you meet another musician, especially one that you haven't seen before, but you meet at the gig, and you know exactly what they've been doing because you've been doing the same bloody thing, and and there's a camaraderie there, and the metal community has that. And one of the great things those guys do is they buy each other's T-shirts.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm
There
the
you
king
go.
of that.
I
So
don't
like I've
there you
got
go.
I don't think he owns a shirt.
I've
from-
got okay. So
from
so
a
funny story
store
about those
anymore.
T-shirts. So like every band that I like, I grab T-shirts. I've
Right.
got wristbands on.
Yes.
LaCube and a band called Manifestive.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
You
I'm
collect
all over
them
the
and
place.
You do it. And,
People,
and the thing is, they do
people
it.
comment on how they're like, dude, he's wearing your shirt. Like
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
my Facebook.
Yeah.
They'll tag people and be like,
think about it, $10-20 for another local band that you like for a cool shirt that isn't sold at Kohl's.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm into
exactly.
You know.
Cool. Oh, well, guys, thank you so much for doing this. We're going to wrap it up.
All right.
And we're going to wrap it up in a strategic fashion. Here's what I want you to do.
Oh.
You're going to do a bump, okay?
All
We're going to record a bump. You're not getting out of here free of charge. I want you to say this. This is Spencer Wharton, and this is whatever your name is.
oh, man, do I have
Riley Rogers.
Riley Rogers.
This is Roger.
Private
We are the Infamists, and you are tuned in to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
Oh, man, do I have to say my name or can I be the War Baby?
However you want to do it. However you want to
I'm
do
going
it.
to give him the real
How about I
stamp of approval.
introduce you and you introduce me?
That's
All right,
perfect.
Yeah.
That's
I'm going
good.
to give you the real stamp of approval. The War Baby approved.
Okay.
That's the real stamp
All
right there.
All right. So we're going to do this now. Ready?
Yeah, we're
All
ready.
right. Here we go, my cats and kittens. This is live radio. So here we go.
This is Spencer the War Baby Wharton.
And this is Riley Rogers.
We
are
the
the
infamous.
Oh, wow. We
Don't
botched
forget.
that.
Well, you had the perfect. It was
Yeah,
going. It was rolling.
All right, one more time.
One more time. That's all we have time for. One more time.
This is Spencer the War Baby Wharton.
This is Riley Rogers.
And
we are the Infamists.
And you've been watching
Watching
Doggie Time and listening on
DentonRadio.com.
Awesome. Except now, I think you are the War Baby, and you are Riley.
No, that's fair.
We're going to keep it.
Yeah, do it.
We're
Nope,
going to keep
that's
it.
totally fine.
All right.
It's okay. It'll be part of your mystique. And speaking of mystique, my cats and kittens, we're going to make a great mystique and leave. So thank you for tuning in. It's been fun. It's been another 2 hours. We will be back in 2 weeks. And if I am not mistaken, we are going to have the lovely and talented Maggie Messer with us, along with another surprise that we haven't booked yet. So anyway, from my boys here, from the Infamous, from producer extraordinaire, the lovely and talented Ellie Meyer, this is Bone Doggy. You have been tuned in to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com. Until next time, ciao bella. Good night.